You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, we have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. That's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that is lockedonpodcast.survey. You can also find the link down below in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. Also, do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the podcast on all the audio podcatchers, and give it a 5-star review. It costs absolutely nothing, but keeps all of this free. If you want more, you can join the Insiders program. The link is down in the subtext link below. No trolls, 14-day free trial, and the easiest way to cancel ever. Give it a try. And don't forget to check out a second listen on the network. Nearly every team, college or pro, is ready for you. So we'll see how that goes as well. Now, I'm pretty excited about what we saw explosively by the Ole Miss Rebels against Georgia State. There are some pause points. There's some things that I'm keeping an eye on and filing back in the back of my mind for if it doesn't get better, it could detonate and blow everything up. You can see all that. Now, the good news is, if you're looking for good news, is every team has fatal flaws. The era of super teams are over. But Ole Miss's fatal flaw right now, it looks like, besides the Lane Kiffin ego stuff of the video we did a couple of weeks back, but it could be the offensive line. Now, I don't think necessarily that it is. People assume that just because you're not freaking out over a 63-0 win that you ran for almost 300 yards, or 63-7, you think that it's all good, it's easy, nothing to worry about. No, it's not worth worrying about right now, because everybody that comes into this says, well, if you played LSU tonight, LSU would win. Yeah, probably. But you know what? You don't play LSU tonight. You didn't. You have a month until LSU. And before you get to LSU, you have two SEC games and one of the best G5 games. You will be battle tested before LSU comes into Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. So that argument is honestly dumb if we're going to be completely honest about it. Now, I can think that two things can be true. And the two things that is that Ole Miss struggled mightily on the offensive line at the beginning of the game. Now, the game got better as it went on. The offensive line got better as the game went on. But at the beginning of the game speed got to them, and I think that's the injuries. A lot of the work that they were doing right now should have been done 3 weeks ago in camp, but injuries delayed it. So you have to do the work right now, and you have to have the reps right now. It's one of the reasons the starters played as much as they did in this game, because you need the reps, you need the film, you need the coaching. You need John Garrison to say, hey, you need to come off on this double team just a beat earlier or a beat later. The continuity happening, the twist, being able to pick that up. Everything that works together needs to be built. And early on in the game, it just wasn't there. Period. It wasn't. They struggled. Austin Simmons' first interception was on a play that was an RPO. You can see Patrick Kutas leaning forward to run block, got off balance, got beat around him, and that hit the quarterback. You have to get used to what's going on. And Patrick Kutas has not had a lot of game reps since last season. So this offensive line has to build continuity. Diego Pounds and Jayden Williams, they played in the game. I think they played relatively well. The reason I say that is because I didn't really say their name. I heard PJ Wilkins' name a couple of times during the game, and Patrick Kutas had a rough first quarter. Did not hear Bryson Sanders and the jet sweep being back in the arsenal. Lets me know that the offensive line is going to be fine at the center position regardless. But there was some pause points that you need to worry about. there's some stuff that you need to keep in the back of your mind. That said, I don't think this is a talent issue. I think this is just a need to get better issue. This is a play the position and get your assignments down. I think you're going to look at several busts or MAs whenever they watch the film on this game. And Ole Miss is going to be better for the MA. I tell people all the time, and I have since last night's podcast, this was the perfect game one for Ole Miss. Absolutely the perfect game one. And that is the fact that there's a ton of stuff to yell at Ole Miss about. There's missed assignments, bust, explosive plays, inability to run the ball at times, but you won the game 63-7. You won the game by 56 points. So you can yell at your team with the win, with everybody feeling good. This was the perfect season opener for Ole Miss. Now, the defensive side of the ball, the touchdown was kind of a bad luck thing. There's a player that left his feet trying to intercept a pass. Because of that, he was still in the air whenever the guy was cutting, getting into the open field. That is how he did that. That explosive play still doesn't need to happen, and it still doesn't need to be excused. But that's the reason behind that. The thing that concerns me more were the 4 explosive plays against the run defense. Probably, let's see, Georgia State ran for 191 yards. If you look at it, probably 89 or 90 yards were actually most of the carries, and the other ones, the other yards came on 4 carries. Either Rashad Amos explosive. I think the quarterback got off one time. Those explosives need to be cleaned up a little bit. And if they do that, they're going to be pretty good. Some players that we saw in this game that was interesting to me, DJ Holmes in the game. I saw Caleb Cunningham at the end, but that is what it's like. What we learned in this game, Austin Simmons, like we said, is the real deal. He is one of the better quarterbacks in the entire country, potentially. But from what we saw in week 1, he is way up the list about where he can be. He did have one mistake throw, but that happens. Everybody's going to throw an interception from time to time, and it's on a play that Austin has struggled with over the course of fall camp. No, the offensive line is not broken, and it is also not where you want it to be. 2 things can be true about the offensive line, so we learned that from Saturday night. The offensive line's going to get there, but they need to get there, and they need to get there, honestly, pretty quickly with a road game at Kentucky and then a home game against Arkansas over the next 2 weeks. And that was the perfect start for Ole Miss to the 2025 season. It was a rout, 63 points scored, and plenty also to yell about. That was the most uncomfortable film session for a 63-7 win that they've ever done. So I was pretty impressed about what they could do moving forward as well. Anyway, in our final segment, we dive into this week's FanDuel betting lines and spotlight the SEC matchups that could surprise, particularly the upcoming showdown with Kentucky. Spoiler alert, Ole Miss opens up at about a 9-point favorite on the road. We'll break down what that could mean for the Rebels in week 2 and beyond right after this. Anyway, thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves on offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we are the front door of Ole Miss. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the show, and it is completely free. Your support means the world to us. In another big moment for Locked On, college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV are presenting College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside 2-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts on Locked On College Football Preview that only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Hotty toddy, everybody. Have a great Labor Day, and remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.